dudettes? How are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to Cinema Chazzy, the segment on this channel where I review the many movies that I watch over the years, whether they're old or new or modern or classic. I'm aware that some of those words are synonyms, but I still say that because this has been my intro for a long time now and I'm way too stubborn to change it, so that's how it's gonna be, okay? Now, in case you guys haven't been following along with my channel's content lately, maybe this is your first video or you just haven't really been paying attention, I have been doing a lot of baseball related content on my channel lately, and I am now at the tail end of that. I'm finishing up MLB The Show 23 on my channel. Actually, at this point, I think I have finished it already. Well, I'm very close to finishing, and also, baseball related, movies and stuff and TV shows, reviewing all of that. So, this is going to be my third and final baseball movie that I'm going to review here for you guys, following A League of Their Own and Fever Pitch. And almost like it's a recurring theme, today's movie is also based on real events, and it is Moneyball. This one here, man, directed by Bennett Miller from actually a 2003 non-fiction book written by Michael Lewis called Moneyball, The Art of Winning an Unfair Game. And both the book and this movie that was released in 2011 follow the Oakland Athletics baseball team as they try to assemble a competitive team, to probably win the World Series, which is what every baseball team strives for. Now, the GM and the assistant GM, they come together to take this very, sophisticated sabermetric approach to scouting and analyzing players, and they ultimately assemble a team of undervalued talent, and they ultimately have a winning season. They get really far, and it's very inspiring, very motivational, especially because I love sports dramas, especially biographical sports dramas. Like, if you throw a sports movie in my face and there's drama and it's based on real events, there's character development and really good actors, you've already sold me, Even though I'm still starting to understand how baseball works, I have been watching more baseball related movies lately so I can understand better, The cast is really stellar. You've got Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman, among others, Now, it had an initial budget of $50 million and went on to gross more than double that at $110.2 million at the box office. And get this, it was nominated for 6 Oscars and 4 Golden Globes, man. This movie really was ahead of its time, it sort of pioneered almost like the biographical sports drama because it was done so well, and just, I don't know, man, everything about it just seemed so grounded and authentic, I'm going to be talking more about that as the video goes on, I'm going to be, you guys know how these reviews work. Don't know if I should say this because it should be obvious, but there will be spoilers ahead, although it's based on real events, so if you either read the book or know what happened in real life, I don't think there will be any spoilers. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys a clip here from the movie first and foremost.
There are rich teams and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us.
Welcome to Oakland.
My job is to take this team to a championship. I need more money.
We're not New York. We're not going to compete with a $120 million payroll.
Got to think differently.
Now, the storyline of this movie, just like the source material that it's based on, is centered around the 2002 MLB season of the Oakland Athletics, where, facing the impending departure of star players, they have a limited budget of $41 million. I really wish I had a limited budget of $41 million right now. If I had $41 million in my bank account, I would call it anything but limited. Although, yes, of course, being a professional baseball team, $41 million is probably just a drop in the bucket for them and not enough to survive. God dang, because baseball does, pay the most expensive contracts in American sports, the freaking luxury tax. But still, man, 41 mil being a limited budget anywhere. My God. But anyway, so we follow mostly Billy Beane, who is the GM of the Athletics, He goes on the scouting visit to the Cleveland Indians facility and he meets Russell Brand. He meets Peter Brand. Russell Brand is an actor. He meets Peter Brand, who's this young Yale economics graduate, with very radical views on scouting players. He hires him, but at first the other scouts, in the Oakland Athletics department aren't very, prone to the idea. They don't like the sabermetric approach, but they start to use it anyway, especially the head manager, the coach, Art Howe, who has been asking for, he's in the final year of his contract and he's been asking for an extension, but they just keep ignoring him, so he's actually really pissed off with Billy. It's pretty sucky, but still, they just keep going anyway. Now, when the season starts, the Athletics are already 10 games behind first, and that starts to lead all of the critics to dismiss the new idea, this new approach to scouting the undervalued players. The idea is to see the players who do have talent, but they might fly under the radar because of other factors, you know. Maybe one of them pitches in an ugly way or has a weird batting stance, you know. But the analytics show that these players can perform well, you know. That is the idea that they have, you know, using computers and technology, while everybody else is just a bunch of, you know, cavemen using the traditional methods, you know. It's actually very similar to Trouble with the Curve, starring Clint Eastwood. Very, very similar, you know. So then Hal starts to clash with Billy, you know. He starts to use their traditional lineup while ignoring the new approach that they're trying to take, you know. So yeah, that's essentially how it works, you know. And then it just keeps going. I'm reading here from the cheat sheet, you know, because there's a lot of information and I just want to make sure I give you guys, you know, everything correctly. So anyway, they start getting some more, you know, players, you know, like first baseman and all that to help on defense and whatnot. 3 weeks later, they're still only 4 games behind first, you know. Now they start acquiring new relief pitchers as well, new players to help out, you know. And, you know, they start this winning streak out of nowhere, you know, because baseball has over 100 games per season. So there's always a lot of time for a team to bounce back if they're not performing very well. So they start to go on this just random winning streak out of nowhere. Of course, you know, because Billy is a little superstitious, he doesn't like to watch the games, you know, because he thinks they're going to lose if he does. And lo and behold, he goes to a game and they lose and eventually embark on a losing streak, you know. Sports superstitions, man, they are really, really freaking crazy, you know. So anyway, now they start playing a little better towards the end of the season, you know. They actually achieve a record-breaking 20th consecutive win because of this approach that they took, the new lineup and the players who were originally undervalued, you know. It's really, really cool, but they will not be satisfied unless they win the World Series that year, which is the goal for every baseball team in October, you know. So yeah, now they do win the American League West against the Minnesota Twins, you know, but there's this unseen baseball analyst that explains that, you know, some of the other, you know, tangibles of a certain player, like, you know, drive and clutch performance, can't actually be measured, which this new sabermetric approach kind of, you know, throws in their face, right? It analyzes literally everything. The scenes that shows the computer analyzing the data is really awesome, man, because it takes you in this journey of this whole new kind of data analysis in sports that was unprecedented before the time period, right? That was unprecedented for the time period, right? I think that makes a little bit more sense, right? So anyway, continuing to read a little bit more here, you know. Eventually, they do actually become successful, you know. They have a winning season, and Billy is offered a contract to be the manager for the Red Sox, but he declines. He wants to remain in Oakland, which shows, you know, a lot of loyalty and dedication because they really put something together during that season there. It is freaking awesome, man, you know, just how they keep winning everything. It's nice. It's really nice. But anyway, so now let's see here. What else? Oh, I guess that's it. Okay, but anyway, there is an epilogue, you know, that after he turned down the offer for the Red Sox, you know, they still end up winning the World Series 2 years later, you know, using the same model that, you know, Bean and Brand put together. It's very nice, you know, and Jonah Hill really performed well, showing how the approach was taken. I think it was really, really cool, showing also just the character clashes, you know, between some of the, you know, the scouts and whatnot. Very nice, very interesting. I'm gonna take a breather here now so I can show you guys another clip.
Your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins.
Who are you?
Here is 25 players that have been overlooked by every other team for one reason or another, like an island of misfit toys. In here is a championship team, one that we can afford.
Who's the kid? The kid is the new assistant GM.
I'm sorry if I butchered the details a little bit there while talking about the plot. It's because there are a lot of details, you know, and the movie is pretty long, so, but there were some things that weren't 100% accurate, you know, like there were certain scenes where you see Billy firing certain players, you know, just so he can sort of force the coach to play the ones that he wants to, you know. Not sure that's actually accurate if that actually happened, but I'm going to talk about the inaccuracies later. Let's first discuss the cast, right? We have, of course, Brad Pitt playing Billy Bean, you know, who Brad Pitt can really do no wrong in my eyes, you know. Like I can't really think of a movie where his performance wasn't good. Like sometimes a movie that he'll do kind of sucks, but like his performance somehow goes above and beyond, you know. It's like Fight Club. Fight Club is a very hard movie to watch, but his performance is just, you know, phenomenal. You know, then we have Jonah Hill as Peter Brand, you know. Jonah Hill is actually interesting because I'm used to seeing him in more comedic roles, you know. And this one was different. It was a little bit more of a serious performance, actually similar to The Wolf of Wall Street, you know, but that movie was terrible. So this one here showed a different side of him, you know, and showed really good acting chops, because I will always see Jonah Hill as like the fat dumb guy from like Superbad or Accepted or whatever, you know, those kinds of movies. So it was really good to see him, you know, showing off his acting skills here. We also have Philip Seymour Hoffman as Art Howe, who was the coach and slash manager slash trainer, whatever you want to call him, you know. But basically he was there as sort of like the Foley to Billy, you know, kind of like he sort of becomes a secondary antagonist because he's against the new approach that they're trying to take, you know, but eventually he falls on board with it. Very similar to Draft Day, you know, a movie about football. I'm just name dropping a bunch of movies at this point. We also have Robin Wright as Sharon Bean, you know, who is Billy's wife, I imagine, you know. Pretty sure it's his wife, you know. It's too many characters, man. But based on the name, it's probably not his sister, right? Okay, so then we have Chris Pratt as Scott Hattenberg. I forgot Chris Pratt was in this. I forgot Star-Lord played baseball, you know. He just plays a random player who has an injury and is trying to fight through it, you know. Nothing really too special there. Then we have Stephen Bishop as David Justice, you know. I don't remember who the hell that is, so you're just gonna have to just go with, look that up later. We also have Reed Diamond as Mark Shapiro. I'm guessing that these are probably players, you know, like instead of bringing in real life players, they just probably got actors to play them or whatever, you know. Brett Jennings as Ron Washington, you know, also probably just a player who I can't really remember too well. Then we have Ken Madlock as Grady Fusion. I cannot remember. Maybe some of these are the scouts, you know. The scouts who were there at the scene, you know, conversing with them, trying to figure everything out, you know. And Jack McGee as Rocco. Very awesome name there, Rocco's Modern Life. It's just okay. Well, then we have Vitu Reginis as Chris Pataro. I love saying these actors' names in some of these videos, man. It's a test of English pronunciation, isn't it? Who the hell is this guy? Nick Searcy as Matt Kilgoose. I don't know, man. Freaking something. Then we have Glenn Morshower as Ron Hopkins. Morshower is an awesome last name. I wish I had that. Morshower. I mean, I hope he takes showers in real life, or else it's going to be a weird name to have. Then we have Casey Bond as Chad Bradford, also probably just a scout or a player, somebody important there because his name is highlighted in blue here. Then we have Nick Perazzo as Jeremy Jambi. You know, he actually was a player. There was a bit of an inaccuracy there with the time period with the players here and there, but I'm going to talk about that later. Then we have Karis Dorsey as Casey Bean, who is either a relation to Bean. Oh, I think it's his daughter. You know, his daughter does show up in the movie, but I got no hip. Then Arliss Howard as John W. Henry. That is a very fancy name right there, man. Holy frittata. John W. Henry. I should call myself that, you know, Igor W. Chesterfield. Has a nice ring to it. Then we have Darren Ebert as Mike Magnet, you know. Also, no idea who that is, but we're approaching the end, so maybe this is like the secondary cast, the supporting cast rather. Then Miguel Mendoza as Ricardo Ricon. I know that he's a baseball player. He actually appeared in the movie, so somewhat prominently there, you know, doing the thing with the stuff. And Adrian Bellani as Carlos Pena. That's a baseball player, but it's because I confused him with an actor. I think that's Michael Pena. It's the same last name. I'm not trying to be racist, but it actually is. Then we have Art Ortiz as Eric Chavez, you know, another. For some reason, like, there are some really good baseball players from South America, especially Venezuela, you know, Costa Rica. They just seem to all come from there, you know, and they're awesome. Then we have finally Royce Clayton as Miguel Tejada, you know, also another player who is somewhere from the South American arts and whatnot. So yeah, man, that is a lot to take in. That is a lot to take in. The production is actually really cool, you know, because they actually filmed, you know, on location at Blair Field and Dodger Stadium, you know, because they didn't have a very big budget to film in other stadiums, so they actually had to go there. Oakland Coliseum, you know, is the norm. You know, there were like 700 film extras, you know, used there to show the scenes in the baseball stadiums, you know. That must have been really cool, man, to be there watching a baseball movie being filmed, you know. Must be really cool. So yeah, the production was nice, you know, really good value there. And now I'm going to be going on to the final stretch, you know, after showing you another clip.
They call it Moneyball. I think that he bought a ticket on the Titanic.
Hey, Daddy, do you think you'll lose your job?
What?
Well, I go on the internet sometimes.
Well, don't go on the internet. Watch TV or talk to people.
Do you believe in this thing or not?
100%.
Now remember, guys, in real life in the 2002 season, the Oakland Athletics actually fared really well. You know, they finished in first place in the American League West Division with a record of 103-59. You know, so that's 103 wins and 59 losses. You know, because of these saber metrics that they use. You know, this empirical analysis, you know, that they worked for their team that season. You know, it just completely, you know, changed the game. You know, and other teams followed suit, right? So it was really interesting. You know, but there were some inaccuracies players, like I said before, like for example, excluding pitchers and other position players who were very important, you know, to this turnaround, because like they were discovered, you know, with traditional scouting methods, you know, so it's kind of weird how you would omit players like that when they were kind of like the key role players, you know, behind the success of the team in that season there. It was very, very strange, you know, the decision to remove them, but I don't know, maybe it was just for pacing reasons, or they wanted to focus on the undervalued talent, you know, and also, you know, other players themselves, like for example, you know, players like Gambini and Bradford, you know, they were in the movie and it showed them, you know, like, you know, sort of being scouted that way, but they had already joined the team, they had already joined the Athletics before the time period in the film, so it didn't really make a lot of sense, you know. But then again, and also the Giambi and Pena, you know, the Carlos Pena trades, they didn't occur at the same time like the movie depicted, right? So, but they're just very small nitpicks, you know, there's really not much to complain about when it comes to that, although Art Howe was pissed, you know, because he did not like his depiction at all, you know, like he has spoken publicly about his disapproval of, you know, his own portrayal, right? Like, you know, he didn't really clash heads that way with Billy, you know, they actually got along a lot better, but you know, they actually supported each other, so sort of making him, you know, the villain and giving them a turbulent relationship didn't really sit well with the guy, which is I guess it does make sense, you know. But one of the things that also is highlighted is this kind of like, you know, this very serious and grounded, but at the same time comedic chemistry, you know, between Billy and Brad. You know, his name is Brad. What the hell? I forgot his name already. I'm sorry. Let me check the cast here. Jonah Hill played, Peter. I said Brad. Peter Brand, right? Their dynamic is really interesting, you know, because it is a serious movie, but because you have Jonah Hill, you know, there are a few elements of comic relief here and there. It almost kind of reminds you of the Bad News Bears from 1976, you know, and also a little bit of Major League from 1989, those baseball movies there, you know, because they do take on elements of comedy, and this one here does as well, you know. There are some light-hearted moments here and there where the characters kind of bicker and it makes you chuckle a little bit, so it kind of lessens the tension to a certain degree, you know, which I think is really cool, you know. I'm definitely for that. It's just really nice, you know, the approach that they take. It's just, it seems strange. Like, the movie is serious, but at the same time, there's a unique charm to it. Because it's based on real events, everything feels very authentic, you know, it feels realistic and it's relatable, especially if you're either a baseball fan or you happen to be a supporter of the Oakland Athletics, right? It's really cool, man, you know. I love the pacing, the cinematography, the editing, everything in general, the casting, the soundtrack as well, you know, it builds a little bit to a crescendo here and there. The moment where Billy sees his superstition come into life, where they start to lose a game when he goes to watch it, you know, the little somber thing that starts to play there, it's very nice, man, you know. It's really cool using actual baseball stadiums as the location, the settings, right? To me, it's just really cool, you know. It's a very, very enjoyable movie, which I would have probably liked even more if I happened to be a bigger fan of baseball, but I'm not. But this movie still deserves, in my opinion, an 8 out of 10. The way that it was done and the way that they, you know, showed us this approach, these sabermetrics, you know, everything was just awesome, man, you know. I particularly love the cinematography in general, how everything has almost like this dark and brooding atmosphere, you know, because Oakland, I don't know exactly how Oakland is, you know. Where is Oakland, by the way? Where the hell is that? Let me take a look here. Is it in Cleveland? No, California, Cleveland. I don't really know what the weather is like, but it almost seems like every scene feels like it's overcast, you know, rather than sunny. That's what I remember. So it's almost like, you know, where the setting, the weather is sort of trying to, you know, keep the themes of the movie in line, you know, because there are some sad moments here and there, so that's, you know, yeah. And that's it, guys. I don't really know what else I can say, you know. I'm just trying to look up some more information here, but nope, that's pretty much it, you know. I think it's really cool, very good rhythm. Like I said, it was nominated for a bunch of awards, you know, like for example, you know, Best Picture, Best Actor for Brad Pitt, Best Supporting Actor for Jonah Hill, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, you know, and also at the Golden Globe Awards, you know, nominations for Best Motion Picture Drama, you know, Best Actor, you know, for the Motion Picture Drama, Best Supporting Actor again, and Best Screenplay, you know, so that's how it is. Don't know if it actually won anything, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, I don't know, but it was nominated for a bunch of stuff. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up here. This video is getting a bit too long, and I tried to pull a lot from my little script here of sorts, you know. It's my script / cheat sheet, you know. I tried to, you know, pull as much as I can here, but you guys might have noticed that I was glancing at it a lot, but that's just life. And yeah, man, that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think. You know, if you've seen this movie, if you haven't, if you want to, and if you did watch it, let me know what you thought about it. What would your rating be? You know, maybe you'll give it a 9 or a 10 or out of 10. I don't know, but it's all good, man. It is all good. I'm gonna go now because I'm freaking exhausted. So if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every other day right now. That's what I'm working towards. And hit the notification bell so you can know exactly what time I upload. And that is it. This is Chazzy signing out for now. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the final clip if there is one, and then the outro screen.
We're doing something really unexpected and special, and the whole city is feeling it.
If we win with this team, we change the game for good. This better work. I'm just kidding.